Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the KMN 1971, back with another comic book haul. Happy Easter to every one of you out there, and if you happen not to partake in Easter, have a great day anyway. Um, More of the same in this week's comic book haul. Same standard out of the bag of geekery. Some current stuff, some stuff from the modern age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, yada yada yada. So let's get on with it. I thought initially this was going to be a comic book collection spotlight video because I thought Action Comics 1000 came out this week, but apparently not. But I do have enough books for a comic book haul, and what a great week it was for comics. Kicking it off this week with my read of the week, Doomsday Clock #4, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank just killing it. The origin of the new Rorschach in this issue, great stuff. DC Metal, a little bit of a glare there, but #6, the conclusion. I liked it. A bit rushed, of course, like a lot of these events tend to be. I really would have wished it would have had like another issue to have a couple of more moments, room to breathe, and a couple of more characters to have a moment. But still a great crossover, and I really look forward to No Justice and all the other possibilities in the DCU moving forward. Batman #43, my favorite ongoing title. The conclusion of the Poison Ivy arc, which was a nice little three-parter. And not the best arc from Tom King, but still, this run on Batman has just been spectacular. So I have no problem picking this up twice a month. And another title that I've been following, the Avengers No Surrender storyline, which ends in 690. I guess a correction, it's not a 19-part storyline as I stated in my last haul. It's more of I believe it's a 15-part storyline. So anyway, another video, another correction. So here's 686 as well as 685 and 684, which is the quote-unquote first appearance of the Immortal Hulk. And while I've been trying to stay away from variants of this storyline, I just could not pass this up for cover price either. The Scotty Young variant. I love that cover. So, great storyline. Can't wait to see where it goes. Alright, a couple more books from the last couple of weeks. Scooby Apocalypse #23. I don't pick up this title, but love the cover, so I figured why not. Another cover purchase, as many of you. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey #20. Adam Hughes. A lot of people say this isn't their favorite Adam Hughes cover, but I don't know. I mean, I think his rendition of Batgirl down there is pretty spectacular. Another video, another Art Germ Supergirl cover. This is Supergirl #19, which features the 90s version of Supergirl. Fantastic. And I also picked up Wonder Woman #34, the Tony Daniels 700 celebrating 700 issues variant. I guess they were still called B covers at this time. So yeah, that's one of them that slipped under the radar. I want to pick up the Flash anniversary issue B cover also. Alright, now getting on to the back issues. I've been working on a couple of hauls, not a couple of hauls, a couple of runs. And these next dozen books or so range from $1 to $4. Because, as you know, I always like to put in a couple of the runs that I'm working on in these videos. So, yes, it's about... The videos are about, collectible comics, but they're also about great reads also. So here's The Ultimates, Volume 1, Number 2, which, one of those modern runs that slipped through the cracks initially. So here's Number 2, Number 3, and number 4, which will give me now a run of 1 through 5. I want to pick up this complete volume as well as volume 2 by Millar and Hitch. I also picked up, as you know, I love my cross-company crossovers, especially when it comes to Batman. So Batman Grendel, I didn't even know there was a sequel to the initial Batman Grendel storyline. And I guess this one is actually called Grendel Batman, still done by Matt Wagner. So picked it up. This is issue number 2. I still need to pick up issue number 1. And speaking of Grendel, I finally finished off the initial original Grendel storyline that ran through Mage, the Hero Discovered by Matt Wagner. So last haul I showed you issue number 8, which was the first Grendel in color, and this is the rest of that storyline. So I polished off that run. So issue number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which was, and that was not the last issue of the series, which was issue number 15, but this was the last installment of the original Grendel storyline. So, classic Copper Age stuff. Very happy to have it in my collection, and incredibly affordable, too, for the most part. I also picked up these 2 issues for $1 a piece. Judge Dredd from Eagle Comics, Volume 1, number 2, and number 3, which feature incredible Brian Boland covers as well as interiors. So anytime I can run across these Judge Dredds that have Brian Boland art, I always pick them up, especially if I can get them in very fine condition for $1. All right, now moving on to some of the better stuff. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. So we have my second copy of Nexus number 1 from Capital Comics. Low print run, indie, black and white comic, magazine style comic. Great stuff. First appearance of Nexus. I already own a copy of this in near mint condition that I bought off of Midtown Comics probably about 5 years ago. But this one's not in as good condition, probably fine plus to very fine minus, but for $5 I couldn't pass it up. And it never hurts to have more than one copy of a first appearance. Alright, another book that I am psyched to have into the PC, add into the PC rather, The Silver Surfer. I believe it's Judgment Day. Is that the name of it? Oh god, sorry, hold on guys, I need to know for sure. Yes, I think it's called Judgment Day, or Final Judgment, I'm not sure. But this is a Silver Surfer original graphic novel done by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Joe Jusko wraparound cover. And great stuff. Every single page in this graphic novel is a splash page by John Buscema. So, yeah, so really good stuff. And I'm a big fan of the original graphic novels from the 1980s, and this was definitely one of them that I wanted to add into my collection. So, very cool. Have to give a shout out to Tom Ryan for showing this off in one of his vids. This is Heavy Metal number 1, and from 1977. Oh, awesome stuff. This is classic. I one of those books that I totally forgot about, but once I saw it in this video, I'm like, oh man, I have to add that to the PC stat. So, pretty affordable, but this is another book that can run you, a pretty good penny. So, especially considering it's a magazine. So, Heavy Metal number 1 from 1977. I want to say, from what I remember, that it featured artwork from a lot of people that I didn't recognize, but it did feature artwork from Mobius rather, and Richard Corbin. So great stuff. A great addition to my PC in my opinion. Promethea #1. I believe this is the B cover or variant cover. I'm pretty sure there was an equal ratio thing, kind of like DC's B covers now. But great pickup. I was a big fan of America's Best Comics when they initially came out, but I missed out on Promethea. I had Tom Strong covered, top 10, and as of recently, I ended up picking up last year, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So Promethea was the last one I needed to pick up. It seems like that DC is trying to implement her into the regular mainstream DC universe, which would be awesome. So I figured, why not pick up her first appearance? Kurt Busiek's Astro City #1. I believe this is the first appearance of Astro City and the Samaritan and various other characters. And this was another one of those modern runs that I initially didn't pick up when it first came out, and I've always wanted to get around to it, quote unquote, but I've been working on so many different runs as of lately, it was on the back burner. But allegedly, there is speculation that there might be a TV series in development over this franchise, so figured why not pick up the first issue before, if that does hold true and if it is successful. And damn it, I read this issue, and I guess Astro City has had like a 100-issue run over various miniseries and publishers. And I don't know, Kurt Busiek does it again. I'm going to have to seek out, this run now also. Add another one to the list. Deadpool #65, the famous Hugh Hefner homage cover, Playboy homage cover. And, yeah, just another one of those Deadpool issues that I've had on my list for a while. When I first started my channel, I used to show a lot of Deadpool issues that I was hoarding in, and kind of like Harley, I got a little Deadpooled out. So I'm a little bit more selective about which Deadpool issues I've been picking up as of lately. I'll probably go into another Deadpool frenzy after the next movie comes out pretty soon, so which I'm really looking forward to. So, but still, very happy to pick up this issue. Read it last night. Good stuff. This was during the time when Gail Simone was writing the title, which was pretty good. Finally got this classic cover off my list. Wonder Woman #72, of course, another Brian Bolland classic. And now it finally completes my trinity of, the DC superhero pose of Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 72, Superman from, I believe, Superman 204, done by Jim Lee, and the Batman second print issue, I think maybe 608, also done by Jim Lee. I'm rambling, but very happy to finally complete that little trinity. Little Bronze Age action. Super Villain Team Up #1. I'm always a sucker for those premiere Bronze Age issues, especially if you throw in Submariner and Doctor Doom. That's just very cool. Power Man and, well, actually just Power Man. Power Man #48. And this is the first time that Luke Cage and Iron Fist ever teamed up. Or more of like in the classic Marvel fashion, they fight first, and they are on the verge of teaming up at the end of this issue. Still on the lookout for #49. I already own issue #50, but I figure this has some historical preference, and if they ever do combine those two shows together, this would be pretty awesome. Great artwork, interior artwork by John Byrne too. Just had to mention it. Power Man and Iron Fist #54, which is the first time that they form Heroes for Hire. So also an issue that I thought was pretty significant. And with this, I pretty much have just about all the Power Man issues that I want in my back issues. Still working on the Iron Fist run, but I think there's only probably maybe like two or three more issues out of the Power Man run that I'm seeking out. Superman number 276. And this is an interesting issue. This is Superman versus quote-unquote Captain Thunder. And this was a prototype for Shazam that DC put out to see how it would float with the fans, I guess. And I guess it did pretty well because Shazam ended up making his debut in the DC Comics in the 1970s, shortly thereafter. So this was the prototype issue. Superman versus Captain Thunder. Sweet cover. I love that yellow cover, man. I believe it's the artist was Nick Hardy. Actually, yeah, Nick Hardy. So, great stuff. Great to add to your collection, especially if this ever does come to fruition on the big screen. I think historically, this is a pretty cool book to pick up. And we'll end it off with a little Silver Age goodness. Fantastic Four, number 83. Probably fine plus condition. Maybe the third appearance of the Inhumans? I'm not sure. This is a wall book at one of my LCSs, and they have it advertised as a third appearance of the Inhumans, but I'm not sure. I just picked this up online because I thought it was, I'm always going after those Stanley Jack Kirby issues of the Fantastic Four run, and it was a great book, great condition at a great price. So that's the only reason I picked it up. So whether it is the third appearance of the Inhumans or not, I'm not sure. All I do know, it is Stanley and Jack Kirby awesomeness. And to end it off, my pick of the haul, Blue Beetle, number 1 from Charlton Comics, 1967, I believe, or maybe 68. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. But the significance of this issue, aside from it being a sweet Silver Age premiere issue, it contains the first appearance of the Question, who is kind of like Travis Morgan, the Warlord, one of those abstract characters under the DC umbrella right now that is in my top 20 favorite characters. Without the Question, there would be no Rorschach. And during the 1980s, I was a fan of Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cohen's The Question series, which ran for only like 20-something issues. But great character. I wish DC would do something with him. A lot of potential. Back in the 1980s, he was part of that trio of Batman, Green Arrow, and his own ongoing title, which was kind of like the grim and gritty side of the DC universe. Great stuff from my teenage years. So I actually owned a version of this comic back in the day. When they used to come out with 3-packs under the quote-unquote modern comics banner, which were basically reprints of all these. So that was my introduction to Blue Beetle, The Question, Captain Atom. So till this day, I've been searching out kind of like the Charlton Trinity. I'd love to have the first appearance of The Question, Captain Atom, as well as the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, the second Blue Beetle. So here's one out of the 3 off the list. So that's all I have for this week. I will be back eventually with that Superman comic book collection spotlight video when Action Comics 1000 drops. So until then, have a great weekend, have a great Easter, and yeah, that's about it. See you later. Bye.